So we've got some time for some questions from our audience. We're going to start right over here.
Okay. I'm a high school guidance counselor. And first of all, Katie, I just want to say you are so beautiful. And I want to thank you for your story and your life. And I know that your story and your family sharing this with everyone will make a difference in other kids' lives. So I think you will save lives because of yours. I did want to say that. But I do also want to know, as a school counselor working with young people, do you have any advice for us in working with young people and for the young people as well?
I would say, working with young people, I've been in education for several years, and prior to that I had been a minister over 20 years and dealt with young people and family situations and so forth. I think the first thing that is of the most importance, no matter what the need of the young person is somebody needs to listen to them. Take them seriously, and not blowing them off and what their needs might be, but somebody's looking for anybody, not just to listen, but also to ask them a simple thing: how are you doing? Give them an opportunity to express that and to verbalize that, and sometimes in nonverbal expressions as well too. But I think that's the most important thing, first and foremost, is to listen.
Can I ask Katie, do you have advice for this high school guidance counselor to, so she can be more informed in dealing with troubled young people or people who are having a tough moment?
Whenever anyone can see that anything, whatever it may be, take time for so whatever it is they can see about this solution. It may be something simple, it may be something big. Whatever it is, just listen, because sometimes just having someone listen to you, knowing that someone's there to listen to you, that someone is there to let you talk to them, means so much.
Just to listen to them and take time, no matter what it is that they're coming to you about. It means so much to them.
Thank you for that question. And on this side, we had another question.
Yes, I'd like to know, Dr. Pape, what is the future of phase transplants? You talked about the funding from the Department of Defense coming to an end. What is the future for other people like Katie for phase transplants?
Well, this is our third phase transplant, and again, as was said before, there's 40 that have been done worldwide, and so technically, surgically it can be done, and I think with this collaborative team that we've created, we would be more than happy to do another. But the key is how, as we approach the expense of this, how will it be supported? So, our hopes is that the Department of Defense and other government grants will support this. We're excited that potentially these third-party payers may pick up a hand transplant maybe down the road. That will translate once they find the value of doing a face transplant. But the key is not really the surgical techniques. Okay, we've got 11 great surgeons here at the Cleveland Clinic. Then as a team, we can complete that. The key is again that immune tolerance. And the research that's going throughout the United States and the world on how do you allow to tolerate somebody else's tissue with all the other side effects. There's some experimentation going around. There's some trials that are going on. We're not quite there yet. But that is the key to me.
Thank you. Sir?
I have a follow-up question for Dr. Pape. How do you, as a team, since this is not an everyday occurrence, clearly use resources and things available at Cleveland Clinic to prepare for this? I noted in the documentary you were practicing and trying to get ready for it, but the fact that you were able to pull it off is just miraculous. But what do you do to get ready?
Well, again, it's a collective process from 50 different subspecialties, hundreds of different people. And you have to ask. I mean, we were fortunate with Connie Culp and having a CEO, Toby Cosgrove, to support us and to really, Dr. Cosgrove in of himself is an innovator. So, we had a leader who allowed us to do this. We had an IRB and an ethics team that said it was okay to proceed. We had a scientific background by Dr. Semenoff that for 20 years, at least in the animal lab, that has proved it. So, the stars were aligned, but you have to align the incentives of everybody and collectively produce what I call this collaborative genius to work together seamlessly. And I think places like the Cleveland Clinic where you can align that and you have leaders that really allow you to proceed. There's not too many places like this. So it's not us. We're not all virtuosos in surgery, but it's the collective action of us all together from the top on down that really makes the big difference. It's the secret sauce of the Cleveland Clinic.
Yes, we have one more question over here. I'm sorry.
Hi, Kristen Morris at the Cleveland Clinic, and I just wanted to ask about the investment that the National Geographic made in a story like this. I mean, we don't see a lot of media that goes into this level of depth and detail, and I just thought I'd ask you to share what your philosophy is, and is this going to be one of the last times we're going to see this kind of in-depth reporting?
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for that question. No, it certainly isn't. I mean, this story is an exceptional story because of the bravery of the people, because of the humanity, because of the science brought to life. But, we are always trying at National Geographic and have for 130 years to tell deep, rich, global stories, stories that make a difference, that can move people's hearts, that can get people to take action to make the world a better place. And so this is really the essence of what we do. Of course, the way we tell those stories has changed over the years. We used to be only a monthly magazine. Now we operate, across all platforms, and as other platforms make themselves available to tell stories, we'll tell stories on those platforms too. Because I think that as a storyteller, and I'm sure maybe Joanna and Kurt would agree with me, this is both the most challenging time that we've ever had because of the business model is changing, because it's so hard to cut through the blizzard of information, but it's also got so much opportunity to reach new audiences in ways that we never could before. And so when we have the opportunity like this with a family that lets us into their lives, and we are blessed to have that with surgeons that let us in and really, educated us. I think it does show the opportunities of storytelling that exist now and into the future. Thank you for asking. And I just want to bring this to a close. I am so grateful for everybody at the clinic. We're going to hear again from Dr. Mihalovic, but I didn't want to end completely without thanking Dr. Cosgrove. This all came about because about 4 years ago at an event, after I had left the Plain Dealer, I ran into Dr. Cosgrove just out of the blue, and we started talking about whether there was something going on that we could work together on. And of course, he's very proper, and so he said, well, I can't tell you about anything right now, but I may have something coming up that you might be interested in. And I know he came back to the clinic then and talked to the Stubblefields, talked to the team here, and that is how this story came to be, and we are very grateful to you for that trust that you had in us. Thank you all. And now we are going to invite Dr. Mihalovic back to close our evening.
Well, thank you very much. I would like to thank first and foremost Katie and her family for sharing your wonderful story of love and resilience over a long, long journey back to health. I would like to thank our friends at National Geographic for being here and allowing us and Katie's family to tell a story to the world. But I would also like to give this opportunity to many, many caregivers who have touched Katie and her family along this journey. There are hundreds and hundreds of Cleveland Clinic caregivers who have participated in her care, and very many of you are here this evening. So I would like to ask those who have taken care of Katie to stand up and be recognized. So thank you for being here this evening. Thank all of our caregivers for their wonderful work, and have a good night. Thank you.